Hello and welcome to The Final Whistle. I'm Steve Forbes.
I'm Kenzie Benali.
Well, it's another Premier League point in the bag for Southampton here at St Mary's in a goalless draw. Now joining us to discuss all of the action from today's game, former Saints legends, or I wouldn't say former legends, actually current legends, former players, but current legends.
Old is what you would say. Well, in my point, he's a lot younger.
In the form of Dean Hammond and Franny Benali. Guys, we're going to get your general thoughts on the game first. Dean, let's come to you. It is a well-earned point, but how did you see the game?
Yeah, I think it's a valuable point. There will be some frustration because we could have won it again. It's another game that we potentially could have won. But we mentioned before the show, West Ham are a good team. I think it was, me and Franny were just speaking a minute ago, both teams kind of cancelled each other out first half. Tactically, we were very, very similar. Trying to play on the break, keep her in shape. But defensively, we'll look strong. The manager has obviously changed the shape today, which is something he wanted to do, and that's worked in terms of keeping a clean sheet. And then it came to life in the last 15 to 20 minutes with chances at both ends. And I think Broja, when he came on, made a huge impact and could have scored, had opportunities. But a well-earned point, and I think there'll be some satisfaction in the dressing room, but obviously a little bit of disappointment because, again, it's another game that we could have won.
Yeah, Franny, as Dean's just said, there was opportunity at the end of the game. Were we a bit unlucky?
Well, it can go either way, and it went against us, didn't it? That Broja's shot off the post. I mean, as Dino's mentioned, I thought we set up really well today, and defensively you could see the effort that went in from the entire side, which I thought was exceptional. That was the good side. The downside to that was like you're getting your creative players investing so much work into the defensive side that, especially first half, I thought that when we won the ball, there was at least 50, 60 yards before we could make any ground up or get up to join Adam Armstrong. So, I guess it took away a little bit from the creative side in the attacking sense. But we stayed in the game. We spoke beforehand, before the match, the importance of a clean sheet. And, that up until today, it was 1 in 24 Premier League games. So, this is a good clean sheet. It's a point. The frustration, as Dino touched on, is that we haven't been able to maximise all 3 points. There was a few sloppy balls, just silly little things. It's those fine margins, I think, in the last third often, just a last little pass or delivery into the box. I thought we had a few chances down the left-hand side. Broja and Gineppo linked up quite well on a few occasions. And we said beforehand, Dino, didn't we, that when Broja come on and he picked that ball up on the far touchline and you were like, watching it going, go on, knock it past him and run, but not really expecting too much. When he burst past him and burnt him for speed, it was brilliant. So when he did get the ball, when he hit the post, when he was one-on-one with the last defender, you think, yeah, he's going to get past him, he's going to beat him. And it was just the finish that was just, unfortunately for us, the wrong side of the post. So could easily have been 3 points today, but the positive is a clean sheet.
Yeah, most definitely. And Dean, we've been discussing Broja's impact. He did have the best chance of the game when he hit the post. What did you make of his contribution today?
I thought he was brilliant when he came on. He made an impact, which is what you want from your substitutes. He looked really confident. Franny to touch on that pace he showed when he was one-on-one with a West Ham defender. I didn't know he had that in him, but he literally burnt him, and it was brilliant. And I think that just gave him real belief. And then when he got that second opportunity to go one-on-one, got it onto his favoured right foot, and it was a great strike, it really was. But unfortunately, it hit the post. And then the header late on, it's a really good header, good delivery from James Ward-Prowse, and the timing of the header, and it's just a brilliant clearance from Rice. But when he came on, he looked like that chance he's had internationally has really helped him. The goals he scored, he's come on and you could see it and you think, right, I'm going to make an impression here. I'm going to try and get in this team, and that's what you want from your substitutions. So he did very, very well today, and was unfortunate he didn't score, but great strike, really was.
I think he gives us that different dynamic.
Yeah,
Adam
size,
Armstrong
yeah.
is that sharpness. He's a smaller physically in stature, isn't he? But he's a presence. He's a physical presence. Other than probably Shea Adams, we don't have that kind of threat going forward. So to see he's got the pace to go with that as well. There's a lot to come, hopefully, from him.
And I think he can lead the line on his own, which is
sure.
important. Gives that option, which means you can change shape. You don't have to have two up front. So he looks a very shrewd signing.
Looking at that end of the pitch then, you talked about needing kind of the clinical finishing in the game. There seemed to be a lack of decisiveness when we got into the final third. Is that something you agree with?
I think it was just that, as I mentioned, Steve, either that little bit of quality into the box in the last final delivery or, I mean, you can't take anything away from West Ham. You've got to remember this is a tough physical side to break down, and they've got those two central midfielders, Rice and Soucek, who do a great job protecting the back four. So you've got a pretty formidable barrier to try and either get through or round behind. We did that on a few occasions. Maybe just the quality wasn't there as we would have wanted at certain times, but overall, yes, from a critical point of view, we could have created a little bit more maybe, but as I say, I think we've invested so much effort and energy into a defensive display today. But don't forget as well, we were the probably side that finished the stronger. And out of the two teams, it was probably West Ham that were the most happy out of the two sides to leave with a point today. And I don't know if it was at all, but our manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl, picking up the yellow card, I can see his frustration because the ball that got cleared, yes, there was a foul from Antonio on Gineppo, but the referee didn't really have to stop it at that point. He could have come back and booked him. We had a big breakaway on the right-hand side, which I think is what Ralph was upset about and he was demonstrating with the officials with. So who knows what could have gone if it had been left to play, who knows. But a lot of positives to take from today, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, let's shine a spotlight on Nathan Redmond now, shall we? Because the talk pre-match was largely about him getting the nod over Shay Adams. Dean, how did he do for you today?
Yeah, he did okay. The change of shape, I think when we saw the team come through, we didn't really discuss that it would be a potential change of shape. We thought Nathan may play up front. He played that wider role and support and made some good runs. He's neat and tidy on the ball. And just with Nathan, I think sometimes you can question him because of the ability he has. He's quick, he's sharp, he's dynamic. And he had that opportunity in the second half where he was one-on-one. And I think sometimes with him, he just lacks that little bit of belief that he can finish it off himself. He's always looking for that bit of support, but he does have that quality which he's shown with his career at Southampton. But he did okay. He put a really good shift in. He was playing on the right-hand side. I think potentially he's better on the left because he can cut in and combinations or get a shot away. So yeah, he did okay. And I think he will be disappointed with that chance he had because that's what he's waiting for all game. He works hard for a team and then gets that individual moment where he's trying to get it back onto his right foot, where if he just believed and gone on that left foot, he could have got a strike at goal. But yeah, he did fine.
I think it was difficult for us at times to try and get the likes of Nathan on there, Mo Elyounoussi, Gineppo on the ball at times, especially first half, because the way that the game was set up and the way West Ham United were defending, we couldn't really find them in those little pockets that they tried to get into and we can play between. So when the service isn't always coming into you, sometimes from an attacking point of view, I think they feel the pressure a little bit more that they've got to deliver whenever the ball does come to them. I mean, it's their job within the side to be that creative element to the team as well. But yeah, I think maybe a little bit more could have come from him today, as Dino mentioned.
We've talked there about West Ham being hard to break down. We spoke before the game about Michail Antonio being their danger man. How well do you think we cope with him today?
Outstanding. Again, Dino and I just touched on it before we've come on air that I thought both our centre halves were outstanding today. Salisu, Jack Stevens, I thought they handled that extremely well. He is a physical presence. He's got pace, he's got strength. He's full of confidence at the moment with the goals that he's scored already this season. So, yeah, we've got to give our back four and in particular the two centre halves a huge amount of credit in keeping them quiet today.
Well, Dean, what are your thoughts on that then? Dad clearly impressed with Salisu and Stevens. Would you echo those thoughts? I
thought they were superb. They really were. I mean, they marshalled Antonio out of the game. I love the fact that Salisu would like to go tight with him. He believed in his strength and his power and tested himself and won many duels against him, which is impressive because Antonio's a strong boy and he's quick as well. So if he spins you, he's away. And Jack, again, some critical headers. The ball coming in the box, just a little flick late on, some interceptions. And I think that's Jack at his best. The games where he's really up against it, where he's really got to concentrate. He doesn't switch off, where he's just thinking about, can I drive out from the back, can I hit a lovely diagonal? He's really got to concentrate and defend, and he did that well today. So they're building a bit of a partnership. It'd be hard to dislodge either of them. And I think they played very well today. And Salisu, I don't know what Franny thinks, probably his best performance for the club.
Yeah, very good, Dino. I agreed. I was trying to think beforehand, before the final whistle went, about is there an MOM in there today? And I was thinking from a clean sheet perspective, I think he's a serious contender for it today. He's solid, very good.
Thinking of the back line as a whole, Franny, you're a man who would pride yourself on making sure the team kept a clean sheet. McCarthy just had the one save to make today. How do you think they did overall defensively?
I think, like I say, the fact that we've had a clean sheet today, Steve, it says it all really. The way that not just as a unit, like your goalkeeper and back four have performed, but as a team collectively as well, they'll be delighted. Like given that they're few and far between for us, they're to be celebrated, I think. And I'm sure it's something that Ralph has probably been, and the coaching staff have been working on, I would imagine, to be more solid defensively. Let's get that clean sheet. And you're always in a game then. Like you said, you could have quite easily have been a full 3 points for us here today. And it's a lot of positives, especially from the defensive side. So yeah, I would have been very pleased to have been out there, trying to do my bit with the boys today, had they come off with a clean sheet as they did.
Well, it wasn't 3 points today, but 1 point, a very useful 1 point indeed. Just how important is that point, Dean?
Yeah, it's a huge point. And if you look at it, we're unbeaten at home as well, which is important. You start building that home form, build a bit of a fortress. You look forward to playing in front of your own fans. So it's another point on the board to the tally, to whatever the target is within the group and in the dressing room. Yes, I would like to have won, but I think the performance was good there. And Franny touched on it there. I think we're able to stay in games now because we're finishing really, really strong. I think they look conditioned. They look a little bit fitter. I mentioned before the show it's a younger group as well. So, West Ham were holding on at the end and under pressure. And maybe last year we were thinking we had to go out and win the game. We had to implement our game and get 2-0 up because we were going to, finish the weaker team. So I think that's an improvement. Whether I think it's physically, it could be mentality as well. But it's a good point today. It is. And, it's a hard run of fixtures at the moment. So just picking up these points is important. Yeah,
Dad, in your words, just how useful is that point today?
It's another point towards your final total where you want to be. It's a step in the right direction. There's always going to be that element of frustration, I think, where you don't take maximum points, especially when you hit the post as we did, and you just need those little things to go in your favour sometimes in a game like this. And it hasn't done to a degree with that particular chance, and the one that got cleared off the line as well, the header. So it could easily have been 3, but we'll take a point.
Well, it's Man City up next at the home of the champions. Dean, what are your early thoughts ahead of that one?
You're smiling as you say that, Steve. You're waiting for my answer. Look, it's going to be a difficult game. Man City are obviously a top team. They're the champions. They've got some world-class players. But if you remember last year, that we went to the Etihad and for 20 minutes we dominated Man City. We pressed them. We were good in possession. But as you've seen today, we're a team that's kept a clean sheet and can stay within a game. So they're going to have to defend very, very well, probably even better than they did today. But you go there, and I think in a game like Man City, or you're going to Chelsea or Man United, I think what you do is you really concentrate on the performance. And if you can put a good performance in, whether that's defensively, attacking, that's important, and you can take confidence in that. And if you can get a result, which is not expected, but you go into every game trying to win. Honestly, you do. As a player, you're funny touching it before the preview show, that you believe that you can win any game. Tactically, you think you can match yourself, you want to test yourself against the best. So the players will have some confidence in today. Disappointment for not getting 3 points, but they'll go into it thinking this is almost a free hit, really. There's not too much pressure today.
Well, we've waxed lyrical about how well Southampton did defensively. As a player, what are they going to be thinking about going to the Etihad next week and the kind of performance they're going to have to put in?
It's formidable for any team. You only have to look at the summer spending that has gone on in the top of the table or throughout the division. So many teams, even the biggest sides, are still spending money. They're still looking to strengthen their squads when they're pretty formidable in the first place. So, I'm sure Dino would be the same. As a player, your mindset is we're going there to win. Even though you know how big the challenge is, if you're going with any other mentality, then you almost as well might not turn up on the day. So they'll be going knowing how difficult it is. Wanting to win, but knowing that every single member of the team will have to put in a performance to the highest level to come away with a chance of getting something. And outside the dressing room and the club, pretty much everyone will write you off anyway. They won't expect you to get anything. So, as Dino said, to some degree, it's that free hit. So anything you do get from this sort of game, if it's a point, it's a bonus in some ways.
Yeah, an exciting fixture for sure. But for today, Dad, Dean, thank you so much for joining us. So nice to see you in person as well. Great to have your company.
Great, brilliant.
Really good.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant day. And of course, as we've mentioned, we are back on the road next week on Saturday to take on Manchester City. So make sure you join us on Saints Live from 1:45. But from us here today, it's goodbye. We'll see you soon.